Welcome. You're listening to Beyond the Front Door podcast with Lindy and Rhea at Peak Properties. We are real estate agents here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We bring you stories that make you laugh, cry, cringe, get jolly. I don't know. All the things. Come on in. We put the real in real estate.
Yes. So I just, before we get started on our podcast today, this is going to air, was it Thursday? Because your event is
it's on the 15th of December.
So it might, yeah. I don't know. When
we're going to get it aired.
It will air before the 15th, so probably sooner than later.
Anyway, I think Lindy and I are both feeling really humbled by this last year we're about, December 7th is officially our 1 year of doing podcasts. Thank you so much. And we just had our 100th episode, which was a really big deal. And then we just had our 1 year anniversary party last night. And I think we're just feeling very humbled and appreciative by everybody that supports us by coming on the podcast, by sharing the videos, by attending the anniversary party last night, our friends and family and guests and listeners. It was overwhelming, wasn't it?
Yes. There were so many people.
There was.
I cried like 20 times.
I know.
That many people?
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
I was like, you all came here.
You love me. Well, too bad we didn't meet you sooner. Way to come too.
Yeah.
Or next one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the beer. I don't know. But
A little mix of both.
Yeah.
But anyway, I am just sitting here feeling very humbled about it. And you were tearing up last night, and I'm feeling that way today.
Even like this, we have repeat guests now.
Yes.
So then it makes you feel good that somebody actually wants to come back and do it again.
Yes,
of course.
Yes, that is.
You're like, oh, we did something
right. Yes. So it's been a labor of love, and I'm just, you were feeling emotional about it last night. I'm feeling that way a little bit this morning. So anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners for being so supportive. So anyway, on that note, we would like to welcome back the CHISPA, which is the Cheyenne Hispanic Improving Strong, Powerful Alliances. I wrote down power. Anyway, and our guests here today, we're doing another first today because we have 3 guests with us, which is a first. So we have Denise Garcia, Jessica Hernandez Medina, who is our repeat guest, and Jessica. Oh, jeez. I'm so...
Are you still not feeling from last night?
All right. I need to start
Let's do another retake.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Jessica Fernandez Medina. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
And Lorenzo Fernandez. I had yours right. Why did I not have hers right?
Tongue twister over there.
Anyway, it's Friday. We partied last night. What can I say? But anyway, thank you.
Good.
Yes, it was good. So thank you all for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes. So I'm wondering if you can just go around the room and tell us, around the table, I should say, and tell us a little bit about yourselves, like how long you've lived in Cheyenne, sort of your family, your career, your interests, kind of what you do in the world, and we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, I'm Denise Garcia, and I work at Inhabit Home Health and Hospice. I'm an area manager, so in my job, I get the pleasure of helping families get connected with good clinicians to help them when they've just had surgery, to rehab, to where they're finally confident to get back out to going to outpatient therapy. So I get to work with the community, doctors' offices, families in that capacity. I've been on the CHISPA committee, I think this will be going on my 8th year, and I've lived here. I was born and raised here, and I moved to Colorado, and I came back, and as a kid, I wasn't really fond of Cheyenne, but there just wasn't a lot to do, and I think
Where'd you come from?
I went to Denver and came
Oh,
back, so
okay.
not too far.
Okay.
Can't be that far away from my family. My family's here.
Yeah.
I've got some daughters and some grandkids that are absolutely beautiful. And anyway, now that I'm an adult and part of this committee and doing more things in the community, I absolutely love being in Cheyenne. So
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We're glad to have you here.
thank you.
So my name is Jessica Fernandez Medina, and I am actually the chair of CHISPA. So I have been part of this organization we're going on our 15th year. I just became chair 3 years ago, and we made some changes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I was just
Okay,
making sure
perfect.
that my thing was on.
That's okay. Just working more stuff in the community, offering scholarships, doing more events open to everybody in the community to come and learn a little bit more about our culture, but also to just have a fun time. Us getting to know the community getting to know us. So we do a lot of good events in the community. We like to collaborate with other people. We collaborate with the city, with the Botanic Garden, the State Museum. We collaborate with Hope. We collaborate with Juntos, with the Rail Spur. So we do a lot of collaboration out in the community. So we're going to continue to do that. We want to do some collaboration with LCCC. So that's kind of getting built up down the line. So we're excited. So we just kind of wanted to come and let people know about CHISPA and what's coming up next. So I don't want to give a lot about my background because I came last time. So I think I kind of gave that about my background.
Well,
I feel like everybody's heard about me.
well, what I would love is like an update on how Dia de los Muertos went.
That went fantastic. We actually had more people this year. And so I want to probably give you guys a big thank you because I think your guys' broadcast probably gave that information about the difference between Dia de los Muertos and Halloween and why we celebrate it and the meaning behind it. There was a lot of people that came up to me that said, I didn't realize the actual meaning of what Dia de los Muertos meant and what the meaning was about and how it affects you personally after you really know what it's meant. So I wanted to thank you guys for that because I think having the broadcast and actually explaining what the meaning was, a lot of people understood it and they actually came and celebrated. We had more people take their picture to the Botanic Garden to represent and honor their loved one. So that was fantastic. So thank you guys again for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Rhea watched
Oh, Coco.
Coco.
Did you
did.
watch Coco?
I
Yay.
watched it. That weekend, I think I watched it.
And how was it? Did you
Oh.
cry?
I did.
Oh,
Of course
man.
I did.
Yes.
I was, yes, the end, especially with the grandpa. Was
Yep.
it the grandpa? And
Yes.
yeah, no, I sat down and watched it and I was like, oh, it makes you want to. It made me want to develop my own, our own tradition in our own home
Yep.
of having a day set aside for our loved ones that have passed. It does seem like there's not enough ritual around that, or at least not the way that I grew up.
Yep.
Right. And so I didn't have the wherewithal to get it done this year, but it's made me think that for the upcoming year, having a day set aside to honor those that have passed that we love, makes complete sense. And I really
Well, I
love
just think
that.
it also helps the children because then it's not like, okay, they died and then they're done and, you never remember them.
Yes.
We want to teach our kids that we continue to remember the ones that were here because, I think sometimes children are like, so what happens when I pass? Like, do you guys just forget about me too? But I
Yeah.
think acknowledging that we'll continue to remember you were part of the family. We love you very much. I think helps them kind of ease, the comfort of death because death is part of life, no matter
Yeah.
how much we hate that.
Yep, absolutely. And it has prompted some conversations in our home about, what's the plan when one of us dies? Like, are we being buried? Are we being
Oh, yes.
cremated? Is that, and I've told my sons, I'm like, if you, they're both so young, right? They're in their 20s. And so I told them both, and I know this is a little off subject, but I'm like, I'm not putting you in the ground if you were to die right now. Like, you're coming with me wherever I go. Like, that's just how
Yep.
that is. You're not going anywhere. I think leaving somebody in the ground has got to be the hardest thing ever to do. And so, but the whole thing prompted that conversation where I'm like thinking about all of that and making sure, like you said, that they know that they're still going to be a part of everything
Yep.
that we do if something happens. So
Yeah.
anyway.
That's
I
awesome.
told my daughters to cremate me and make me into jewelry that they wear every
Yes,
day.
yes.
There you go. She's like, I want to be
Diamond.
diamond.
Looking good on your neck, on your arm.
I'm gonna be the bling that my daughters wear
I know.
when I'm gone.
I was thinking about that too. Divide me up if you want. I don't care.
I'll travel more.
You get a little bit. You get a little bit. Anyway, all right, Lorenzo, if you want to tell us a little bit about you.
All right. So my name's Lorenzo, and I've been in Cheyenne for, about 13 years. I was in California for the longest time doing military stuff. So I got out of that, and I currently own my own business doing pest control. So I guess you could say I'm a professional hitman. You know? Just on the bad side.
Only the kind that we like.
Yeah, definitely. The one that'll definitely save some butt. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a part of, that's my cousin. I talked to her and I just wanted to do something different for the community, give a little bit more just because I'm doing better myself. So, you know, why not be able to give other people the opportunity or just see something different other than just my own point of view. So I got involved with the group it's been 2 months now. So, and honestly, I'm really loving it. It's something great. It blew my mind the first time I found out about everything that they do for this community. And I love it. Like I do. It stands for something so amazing. And I really couldn't ask for something better to be a part of than, you know, being a part of this. So
Sure.
I'm very
And
grateful for that.
the growing of
Yep.
that culture here.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely
Yes. I
about
love that. I love that.
So-
Well, I guess I think we hit on this when you were here the last time, but I guess before we get into the events you have happening here in December, just a quick rundown again of what exactly, you know, the services that you're providing, I guess.
So we do a lot of things in the community. We had a big Hispanic festival back in September to kind of acknowledge what the culture is about, you know, why we celebrate different things. So we always like to kind of put that in, bring some folkloric dancers. We bring, you know, the food, the tacos, you know, the music, and just have the community come and welcome. Like I said, once again, our biggest thing is to get to know the community and the community get to know us. We just did our celebration of Dia de los Muertos. And like I said, and that was a big hit, just kind of explaining that. We also did a no drinko Cinco de Mayo. I think people always feel that Cinco de Mayo, you should have a big margarita.
Big drinking holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, that
And
sounds about
yeah.
good to me.
So we wanted to make a big celebration where you don't always have to have the alcohol to have a fiesta. So we had and that was a big hit. We were, you know, we offered tacos, hot dogs, hamburgers, and it was all free to the community. We had piñatas, we had folkloric dancers, we had loteria game, you know, so I was, again, like I said, partnering, you know, with the community so that they saw. We did a Safe Kids too. We collaborated with Safe Kids El Dia del Niño just to celebrate the children, because I'm like, you know, we have Mother's Day, we have Father's Day, we should have Children's Day. So we had El Dia del Niño that is celebrated in Mexico, very big. So we celebrated it here and just made sure they had the helmets they needed and they were wearing them right. Car seats were checked. You know, we had some dental information out there, just some really good. So like I said, and that was in collaboration with the YMCA and Safe Kids. So like I said, we like to do a lot of stuff in the community just to kind of give awareness, but at the same time be able to give out to the community. We're a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3. So any funding that we get, which goes from grants or sponsorships, goes right back out to the community. Anything that's given to us, we give out in different forms. So
I love that.
Yep.
I have a quick question just out of curiosity. In the Hispanic culture, what do you do for a Christmas meal? I just want to know.
All right,
Tamales.
Tamales.
Yeah, yep. Pozole.
Right?
Yeah, the
But just tamales, or is it like a
pozole.
taco bar kind of situation?
we did tacos last year. We did tacos de barbacoa.
Okay.
So like I said, I just think you know, turkey and ham is for Thanksgiving and
Yes.
you know, like I said, we're more about the tamales or enchiladas, arroz, carne con chile, you know, all that good stuff. Like I said, I think this year we'll probably, we did tacos last year. So I know this year we just did tamales. My sister was here from Ohio not too long ago, so we had tamales. So we'll probably just do a little bit of tamales, but more, we were maybe thinking some enchiladas, you know, something a little bit different. But
Go ahead.
My family's a little kind of like mixed. There's just everybody. So we do a mixture of a chicken nugget tray from Chick-fil-A and tamales.
there you go.
I love that.
So
You
there's a
can't
little
go
bit
wrong
of
with Chick-fil-A
No.
nuggets.
and we do
Never
mashed
go wrong.
potatoes with green chili as gravy.
Okay.
So that's how we do our meals. But
So.
Christmas is always tamales, yeah.
So I feel a little dumb asking that because actually a friend of mine hosted like a tamale making party about a year ago for Christmas. And so I learned, or I was part, you know, we set up around the counter and everybody took a different task in terms of, you know, making
masa
yes.
and-
So it was a big party, which was a lot of fun. But I have been thinking, you know, like you're right, Thanksgiving meal is turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, but I would love to have much more of a Hispanic tone for our meals for Christmas because it just is, I think it's everybody's favorite.
It's the
Yes.
best food.
It's the
Yes.
best food.
And in Mexico, they the story was that long time ago when there wasn't gifts to give, the tamales came from that, because you have to open the tamale in order to eat it. So it's like a gift, right? Because we open gifts the same way. So
Yes.
that's kind of like the tamales too. The tamales are wrapped around the husk, the corn husk. Sometimes people use the plátano, which is the banana peel too. So like I said, it just depends on where you're from is how you make it, but it's like opening a gift. And
love that.
back then, if people didn't have the money to buy gifts, that was the gift that you opened, was a tamale.
Yeah.
So there's a really
totally doing it
awesome,
this year.
there's a really awesome children's book. We're going to be reading it at the library next Wednesday for the Cuentos and Amigos, and it's called Too Many Tamales. So for you guys that have little kids, it's a really good book to read about, making all these tamales. She loses her mom's wedding ring in a tamale. So I'll let you guys finish the story. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's
Got
very
better
fun. It's a really good one to kind of read. And so that's one of my favorite books that I read to my grandkids, because it's just, we make so many tamales, and, you have to make sure you take your jewelry off and all that
Sure.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry to get off track
No,
there
no,
a little
no,
bit
that's
with
okay.
that, but yeah. Okay. So your event's coming up.
Yes, so and that's why we're all, wearing Christmas stuff.
stuff.
Yes. So, this is our
You hear
second.
the bells
Yeah,
ringing?
yep, that's where it is. So we are celebrating our second annual Children's Christmas Party, and it's opened free to the community, and we invite everybody. We would love everybody to come. It's for children. So, we understand that sometimes it's difficult for families out there. So we will have Santa Claus there, and we will have him really nice set up so you could take your own pictures, because, it is expensive to get pictures taken. So these are free. You will just take your cell phone out and take your picture. And then we will be having lots of different games for the kids to play. We'll have like the cakewalk. The cakewalk's like back in our days. And some people are like, what? But you walk the cakewalk, and if you win, then you get to go choose, a cupcake or, a cookie or whatever. And then we'll also have some barber and some hairstylists cutting hair, because, Christmas programs are coming up. Also, Christmas photos. So, we'll have the kids being able to get their hair cut for that
free.
day for free. Yep. And we'll also be offering some food. We're going to be making some walking tacos. Have you guys ever had walking tacos?
My kids love them.
Yeah, so you get the bag of
They're so easy.
Doritos, and then you
Yes.
just put the meat and then
Yes.
the toppings you want. So we'll be offering that too. And then we'll also be having a cocoa bar, so the kids could come and get some hot chocolate and add marshmallows. And so like I said, we have all that planned out. We're collaborating this year with the American Legion on Lincoln Way. They're going to be helping us out as well. And then also to our wonderful sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our sponsors. So we're hoping to be able to have some toys there as well, where each kid that goes and sees Santa will get a golden ticket, and then their name will be entered into the raffle. And then if their name is chosen, they will be able to go and choose a toy according to their age group. So we're going to kind of break them down, and everything will be as supplies last. We're hoping to hold it from 12 to 3. We plan on making lots and lots of food, but we just don't know. So everything is while supplies last, but we're excited. So this Christmas party came on. I know I've told you guys before, but I lost a grandson when he was 8 months old. And the last holiday he celebrated was Christmas. It was his first Christmas and his last Christmas. And we actually attended the Christmas party that the American Legion does. So we left a lot of memories there. We have his picture with the Santa Claus. It was a black Santa Claus, and he was so excited to sit on his lap. And I have pictures of them staring at each other and giggling. And so it was just a very heartfelt. So holidays for us are very hard, especially Christmas, because you're buying gifts for all your grandkids, and there's one that's missing. So I know a lot of people do parties or stuff in honor of people. So I brought this up to the CHISPA committee, and I was like, I'd like to do an annual children's Christmas party in honor of Isaias. Are you guys okay with that? And they're like, yes, absolutely. So, because, I think to me, it gives me peace to see other little kids running around, laughing and playing. And it goes back to a little bit of Dia de los Muertos, that in my mind, I close my eyes and I could see him playing with those kids at the same time. And that gives me that little bit of, I don't know, happiness in my heart that I know that he's part of it. So that's where this Christmas party originated. So I want it to be able to be continue to be celebrated year after year, even when I am gone, so that nobody ever forgets him, that he existed. 8 months is too short of a time lived here, but I always want everybody to remember him and remember his happiness and his chubby cheeks. So yeah, so that's like I said, and so we're still looking for sponsors. So if there's anybody out there that would like to sponsor, toys, and like I said, and they could actually go and buy the toys. They could go and buy toys and just be like, hey, we want to, donate this over. We have a W-9. You could claim it on your taxes. Like I said, those would go right back out to the community. But we want to make sure that the community is aware that it's open to everybody. It doesn't matter. Where you fall in class, what your race is. It is open to everybody. We want everybody to come. We're big about always wanting to make sure that the community is welcome to all of our events.
I really am glad you clarified that, because I don't know why I would think this, but there maybe would be times that I would. So, and if I see Hispanic festival or party, I maybe would think, I wouldn't automatically think that that's for everybody.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a...
Yeah.
No, that's very original. Our purpose is just to educate about the culture. There's a lot of miscommunication or misrepresentation, and so it's just a Hispanic organization putting on the event. But it's about educating and about come and feel comfortable with some of our customs and what we do, and learn about it and enjoy it. So it's not exclusive. As a matter of fact, we want the community there. We want everybody to come.
Yeah.
We want to have a good time with all of us. Our committee is everybody.
Yep.
Like,
we have it's
not.
it's a diversity committee. It's not all Hispanic.
Sure.
We have a lot of committee members that are not Hispanic, and they're part of it. So like I said, we are a Hispanic organization, but it's open to the community, Like I said, and even our home is diversity. I have some Asian grandbabies, some black babies, some white babies, I love so
it.
I'm like, it's all nothing. It's all nothing but love. Like I said, so I want to make sure that everybody feels welcome and that they come and, they come and enjoy. Because like I said, it's about the kids. I think Christmas at the end, it's about the children. It's about their laughter and their joy and their happiness. And that's what we're focusing on. We're focusing on the kids.
I love that.
Give them something to believe.
Yes.
Some of them don't know.
But,
and if we can help with just believe in the goodness of people, believe in whatever your family does, but we want to kind of help provide.
Like I said, and besides having Santa Claus there, we will have a Grinch there, because the Grinch is still part of Christmas, and then we'll have elves. Yes, we'll have the elves there, and yes. Yeah. So we just did the Christmas parade, and our Grinch was hilarious. He was like throwing the candy at the kids. Here.
I saw your guys' picture.
Yes.
So we were in the Christmas parade too, and my son dressed up like the Grinch, but he's only 11, so he was little, and
So
people
tiny
were
Grinch.
yelling "Mini Grinch" at him.
That is
This is so fun. But all the people loved the Grinch.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
it was-
Grinch
it
was
was
a big
several
hit.
of them.
Yeah,
So-
Lorenzo has the perfect personality for
Yes.
it. He's really great
I
with the
tried my best.
kids.
Yes, I did.
He's already
So-
brought so much just in the couple of months he's been here.
Yeah.
He's brought so much.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And it's always good. Like I said, we do have our opening right now to any committee members. So if anybody would like to join our committee, we have it open until January 18th, I believe. So if anybody is interested, we do have our website. CHISPA of Cheyenne is what our website is called. We also are on Facebook, and you can always reach out to us and get more information. We're always willing to share anything we're doing. Like I said, we put our events on our social media all the time. We do try to hang up flyers. I'll leave a flyer with you guys as well so that you guys have the information. But it is December 15th at the American Legion from 12 to 3.
So it is at the American Legion.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Like I said, and I'm excited. Our thing is to do bigger and better every year, right?
Yeah.
to make it bigger, add more stuff. So we have more games this year. We've had more sponsors, so that has been awesome. We have more volunteers wanting to come and help us. Advance America, they're so funny. They're like, we'll put a whole game together.
Yeah.
You know, we'll run that game. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, that would be great. You know, so like I said, but we definitely, like I said, we are a nonprofit, so we do rely on our sponsorships. So like I said, we are still collecting sponsorship for anything that they would love to help out, even if they want to come and volunteer. You know, we don't close the doors to anybody. We want people to come and see what we're doing, what we're about. So if you guys are available that day, bring your kids.
Yes.
Come check it out. You
I wish
come
I
and-
had littles living near me. I
You
do
can
not.
anyway. We
Yes.
have time. We can
Yes.
even me
Yes.
and Rose have fun.
So, like I said, I love to dress up. These guys know I was actually the conductor for the Polar Express. I laughed the whole time because I actually put the mustache on, and I was like, "Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad" to everybody as we were walking by. So, I usually dress up as the main elf. So I even get my ears that look like elf. And it's so funny. The kids are like, is that how your ears are? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Because I painted them so that they would match more my color. So, yeah. So like I said, I do go over and beyond because the love that I have for kids is beyond this world. There are treasures, and we have to be able to protect them like that, like treasures, and give them that joy and that love. And I think once you lose a grandbaby, it's a whole different world. You just want to love on all of them and make sure that they get that extra love. So like I said, I am big on kids, and I think a lot of our events we try to involve the community, but the younger community, like the kids and stuff. Like Dia de los Muertos was so fun to be able to let the kids know. Like I said, I usually do the Cuentos en Amigos at the library every third Wednesday where I'm reading to the kids, and they're school kids. You know, we got anybody from 0 months to 8, 9 years old. So it's fun to read those stories to them. And man, they're getting good. I'm like, what's yellow in Spanish? They're like, amarillo. And I'm like, yes. So,
love it.
So yeah, so it is absolutely fun. So like I said,
We also started offering scholarships during our regular Hispanic festival, what we call the CHISPA festival from going forward. But just the past 3 years, well, since Jessica took over, we kind of made it more of an educational type thing, and so we do offer scholarships, and that also comes from sponsors. So however much we have, then we have the counselors or the students who are going to be going to school, and the only requirement is that they attend a school in Wyoming.
yep.
Okay.
Either LCCC, UW, and we're also doing non-traditional, so like Wyotech and the Cheeks. Yep,
Oh,
they get
love
to go
it.
to that too. And we just kind of ask, like, where's your letter of acceptance? And then what do you do in the Hispanic culture? Like, what's your involvement? It could even be like, I go to grandma's every Sunday and we make tortillas. You know, just what do you do in your Hispanic, you know, background in your culture and stuff like that. So,
Really quick, what do you so what I hear you guys saying is that you want everybody welcome at all of these events, which I
Yes,
think is
absolutely.
amazing.
Yes.
What do you think is a barrier to that not happening?
Like you said, how you had that stigma, like you felt like because it's a Hispanic event, I don't feel like I'm included.
Yeah.
We have heard that. We
Yeah.
get feedback from the community where people will say, "Oh, we thought it was just for Hispanics,"
yeah.
but that's never the case. Never. It's
Yeah.
just
a Hispanic organization.
yeah.
having
That's
an
that's
event.
all it is. And like, come and learn and know. I mean, like I said, people don't quite understand, and what you don't understand, you may fear or not like, or distrust.
Well, if we could hit on that for just a second, because I was thinking about this in that what I think, how do I say it? I wonder if sometimes, like, I think most people are good, right? Like most people want for all of us to connect,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, there's always some out there that don't,
Yep.
but mostly, and maybe I'm naive or wrong, but my impression is just about everybody we want to connect between cultures.
Yep.
The one question I would have is, and I have worried about this for myself, is I always want to use language that's respectful and loving and helpful. And then sometimes I'm always worried, like, am I going to inadvertently say something that is not that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think that would be my only other, like, I just want to come, you guys are being so loving. I want to make sure that I'm being loving, like your organization is being so loving is what I mean by that. And like, but I wonder if other people feel the same way. Like, how do I make sure that the language I'm using is appropriate and not inadvertently not, not kind? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think just my family is from Mexico. They originate from Mexico, and my parents are always so appreciative when somebody tries to speak to them with the little Spanish that they know.
Yeah, sure.
I think that shows that you're willing to take that extra step to learn a little bit about that language and actually use it.
That's a good point.
So I think that has been something that my parents have always said, that when they see that somebody's actually trying an effort, they're like, yes, thank you.
What a nice gesture.
Yes.
Oh, so
yes.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I've always thought I feel a little vulnerable doing it, because if I'm going to say something wrong or whatever the case is,
Not sound
I
right.
It's a little self-conscious.
So do you.
Yeah, me too.
and two, like, this is so ridiculous, and I'm so sorry, but like, I think to myself, like, if I go into a Mexican restaurant and eat, is it appropriate that I am attempting to speak Spanish to the waiter or waitress, or the server, I should say, or should I just be myself and, be however? It feels like a vulnerable
You think
position.
like, hey, white lady, quit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly how I feel.
No, I
We
actually
don't
think
have any requirements.
Yeah, no,
Like, you
okay.
don't
It's
just a
have
matter
to
of being
try.
polite.
You can
Yes,
if
yes,
you want to.
yes.
Just show up and have a good time.
I think you guys, like Denise says, showing up shows that you guys are willing to come and check things out and get that fear off of your thing. Come and hang out with us.
Yeah.
Come get to know us.
Yes.
Come and check out the events. And we're always open up to ideas, because none of us are perfect. Things could be done differently, but we won't know that unless you say, hey, maybe next year you guys should try this. Yes, most definitely. We're always open to the suggestions. But like I said, never feel like you have to come and be like, hola, ¿cómo están? Because like I said, Lorenzo being my cousin, he will test. I mean, growing up in the United States, your Spanish isn't always the best. So I don't know if you guys ever have seen Selena, where they say you're always not American enough for the Americans and you're not Mexican enough for the Mexicans. So us being children that are born from Mexican families but lived in the United States and have learned the language, we sometimes get called the no sabo kids, which means we don't know, because we're like, they'll tell us the word, they'll be like, well, how do you say like carpet in Spanish? And you're like, carpeto, so you're like trying to Google it, so I don't know if you guys ever have seen those games where they ask you how to say, a word in Spanish, and you only have so many seconds, and if not, they're like, no sabo kid, next, so like I said, as Mexican Americans, we also have that struggle that we don't always fit in either way. We don't fit in with the Americans because we're not American enough, and we don't fit in with the Mexicans because we're not Mexican enough. So we're always on the lingo as well.
That's a really good point.
So, like I said,
I don't even speak Spanish, so I'm even worse. I feel like a failure. And especially being on the community, so I'm like, Jessica, you have to be with me. Always, I need Jessica with me so she can what they say.
yeah.
So it's not like, I feel like that's a place where I have failed, and that's why I'm more involved now. Because I want to learn more, and I want to be more, and I want my children to understand it. So that's kind of why we're here, just to learn and to understand and to pass it on.
And it's all about your comfort level too, as far as like when you're around certain people. I mean, you don't got to be like a certain way of everybody, what they expect. It's almost a stereotypical kind of thing. Just be yourself.
Yep.
That's why we do this. Like we're with open arms for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're this color, that color, small, tall, big, large, whatever. It's just, we're accepting everybody because we love everybody. And that's the whole thing that we're trying to do here.
Yes.
Well, okay. So I have an example in my head.
She's like, okay, it's all I got this. Okay, it's all I got this.
Okay, so one of the things that I really like to do when I'm out and about is I like to compliment women.
Yes.
If I see them and I see something going on with them, I try to do this daily, actually. So if I think women should be empowering women. So you talk about a minority class, right? Then women are part of that as well. And so whenever I'm out somewhere, I always try to give a compliment to a woman that I see. And I am hesitant to compliment different cultures because I'm afraid I'm going to do it in a way that isn't complimentary. So, for example, you'll see on, I've seen on videos where a white woman will compliment the hair of a black woman, and that black woman is offended by that. And so now I'm like, how do I make sure? Like, one thing I'll say about the Hispanic culture, I think you all have beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, and beautiful skin, like across the board, anytime, right? But I don't, whenever I see a woman, I always want to be like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. But then I pull back because I've seen videos of women being offended by that. So that's the example I want to give. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it goes back to what Lorenzo says. It's your comfort zone, because if you tell me I have beautiful hair, I'm like, thanks. Sometimes it's a little more frizzy than others, but I've learned to embrace my curly hair. But I think that is what's wrong with society. I think that that's something that us as human beings have built that, because if somebody's giving you a compliment, that should be something that you're like, thank you, and we don't all know what we're dealing with. So to have something positive thrown to you, you should be able to grab that and run with it and be like, man, that made my day today. Instead of looking at it negative and be like, man, why is she telling me? But I'm like, I think it all goes back to your comfort level, because I'm like, we talk about embracing our women and, fixing their crown and putting up higher. And it should be that throughout everybody. It doesn't matter what race you are.
Right.
If you see something, exactly. And just, compliment each other, help each other grow with positivity and love. There's so much negative in our world, so much racism. There's no need to be throwing to each other any longer. We should be united. We should be helping one another.
I agree.
And that is something that I think from my family came. I mean, my parents got here and they were immigrants. My mom was 6 months pregnant with me and they didn't speak the language. And there are so many people that helped them, throughout their journey. And because of that, I was raised where you love everybody, no matter what race is, because they were opened their arms, people opened their arms so big to them and helped them out throughout their journey that I want to be able to do that. And I think that that's what is so big on me personally, on the community that we're in, is that I want to help anybody that I can. I actually said the other day, I was like, if I was a rich person, I'd be poor, because I would be like, here you go. What you need money, here you go. Because like I said, even with this children Christmas party, we own a painting business. I told my husband, I was like, so what are you doing? What is BAM painting doing for the Christmas? And he's like, I'll go buy basketballs and footballs. My cousin too, I was like, so what is Produces doing? What's your company doing? So I'm like, it's just like, and sometimes we're not always able to help. I get that. Financial situations can help, put that a barrier where we're not always able to. But to me, if you're able to donate $5, that makes a difference, because there's toys that are like $5-10 that maybe other families might not be able to afford because their circumstance is a lot harder than yours.
Not only that, we have people who are just volunteering their time, and like our hairstylists and our barbers that are coming, they're doing that for free and they're just volunteering their time. It does have a monetary value attached to it, but we have a group of volunteers that come and work security, or people who will run the games, and just volunteering their time to help us put on the best event we can. The ladies at the Eagles Auxiliary last year had baked all the goods for the cakewalk. So I mean, just anything is just more than appreciated.
Well, I was thinking we had Kristen from Needs Inc. on here earlier this week, and she was talking about how, like, for example, when people come into the food pantry or to the clothing closet, a lot of times people are like, they feel bad coming in and taking food because they don't want to take it from somebody else. And I kind of wonder if that isn't sort of a thing that's, like if you're saying that there's a Hispanic festival or Hispanic Christmas party, that maybe the person that isn't Hispanic maybe feels like they're taking away from other children by coming. And I only bring that up because that's what we talked about, that during, people are that way even when it comes to food and clothing, right? Even the very basic necessities, much less, the fun stuff.
But I think personally, what I was thinking when you were saying that, my light bulbs always go up. I don't want people to feel any way.
Yeah.
So like I said, I want people of every class to come so that
Yes.
the children feel that they're accepted no matter what
Yes.
their position is.
That's-
because then again, we are starting to do some,
Inclusivity.
Yes.
Yes.
So like I said, I want, people from the north side, the west side, the south side, the east side,
side.
everybody to come, no matter where you stand. Everybody should be welcome. Everybody should feel like they're part of it, no matter what there is. Because you know what? Some of us are good about hiding stuff. And we could say that we're doing really good, but we don't know the struggles or the debt that we have. We could be just as low as a person that's living, really bad, but we just learn how to hide it. Or we're so much in debt that
Right.
we're just as poor as the same person that doesn't have no money.
Sure.
But we're living a life that people don't always know what we're living. So that's what I'm saying, so how would we know to which to judge?
Right.
You know?
Well, and it's not up to us to judge, right?
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's exactly right.
So-
Yeah.
And I noticed you said a Hispanic Christmas party, and that's not what it is.
Sure.
It's a children's Christmas party. So the
Yes.
Hispanic festival is centered more around like Hispanic
Mm-hmm.
culture and
Cultures.
stuff.
Okay.
The Christmas party is not.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just a children's Christmas party. There's nothing. There's
Okay.
no.
Nope.
I apologize.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear so
And it's-
other people know.
And
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
a matter of educating, and that's it. Like how she's been saying, and how Denise has been saying, we're just trying to do for the community. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just the community of Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yep.
Like we're
I
looking
love
out
it.
for everybody, not just ourselves. We're able to do something bigger than ourselves, so that's what we're trying to aim for when it comes to all this stuff. So-
Well, and it starts with vulnerable conversations, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
to continue to educate and put the word out and connect with everybody.
Yep.
So.
And
It's been so amazing.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time I met you, and I'm just in awe of you.
Oh,
You're
thank you.
just, but it's just the most genuine, sweet person I've ever come across.
She is awesome.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
But I think it's
Thank
having
you.
those conversations. Not everybody's always comfortable to have those conversations, and I don't mind having those conversations at all. I am okay in the skin that I carry,
Yeah.
and what the path that I'm walking that God has put me in. So I'm good with any conversations because I know where my heart stands. So,
Yes.
and I know that not everybody will agree with stuff, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with everybody's opinion because we're all different, and we all have that right to have different opinions.
Well, I love that. Thank you. And I was actually thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if we need to edit this out, we can.
No, we're on the right track here. So
No.
it was a good conversation.
No,
Good
it's
point.
absolutely wonderful.
If you have that question, other people have.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't want to ask it.
And but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
asked it,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's out there. So
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, I think what I like, the thing that I've taken away from this is that at least getting yourself a handful of Hispanic words and knowing them and using them
Yeah.
in whenever we're in those situations, and probably even when we're not, so that we can be practicing them. Maybe
Yeah.
Lindy and I can.
just practice them in the mirror.
Maybe
got all out
yeah,
down.
maybe we need maybe we need a shoot
Oh,
for an
wow.
episode that we do it more in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
So actually,
Flashcards.
to say that our mayor last year he signs our proclamation every year to recognize Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from September 15th to October 15th. So last year when he signed it, he said, I am going to learn some Spanish, and I am going to do at least a paragraph in Spanish this year that came up to sign our proclamation. And he did.
Oh, that's
He did the
huge.
Babel.
He did Duolingo, I
yeah,
think,
something like that, and he did it for a year.
He did so good.
Yes, and
did amazing.
yes. So,
I love it.
So, like I said, and he was, he put that as a goal of his, and he accomplished it.
Well, maybe we should
So,
set a similar.
well, you
goal.
let me know. I will come and
Okay.
help out.
Well, the next time we
Yeah.
see you, you better have 5
Maybe not the
Spanish
next
words.
time.
Come study with you guys.
Maybe next year before the Hispanic Festival or the
Yeah.
CHISPA Festival,
Yes,
which is in
we-
September.
yes. We can have
when
a
we
conversation.
Come, when we come to kind of talk to people about what the CHISPA Festival is going to offer, maybe we could do that a little bit more in Spanish. You guys
I'll
could
bet-
use your Spanish words.
I'll bet a lot of people are. I've had total 6 years of Spanish, but if you don't use it,
Nope.
you don't
lose
retain it.
Yep.
Now I will say, like, when I see it when it's on the TV or something, I'll like close my eyes and see how much I can try to understand and know. But it's one thing because that's the phases of learning Spanish,
Yep.
right? Like you learn the vocabulary and then you listen. So I remember my Spanish teacher playing us like songs, and you're trying to interpret what those songs mean, and then the final phase is actually speaking it
Yeah.
with fluency.
Yep.
Correct? That's
Yep.
sort of the path, but I think we should totally, or at least even a
I'm
portion
not,
of it.
Terrible. I know a lot of words. My
Oh,
grandma's
do
from
you now,
Costa
huh?
Rica.
Oh, there
that's
you
right.
go.
She didn't speak good English. I don't know how she never got it, figured it out. Because she moved here when she was like 20 years old, and she just died last year at 102.
Oh,
And
man.
even then, like, my husband couldn't understand her. Like, she both get all
mixed up.
Spanglish.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it was English, sometimes you're like, I think that she's talking in Spanish now.
But that happens though, because I was asked one day, when you think, do you think in English or do you think in Spanish? And I was like,
Been asked that too.
so I had to like stop.
So what's
I
the
was
answer
like,
to that?
So I think it
I think in
depends.
English.
Well, no, I think it depends on what conversation you're having. So if I'm
with who?
talking, if I'm talking to my parents and we're talking in Spanish, then my thoughts are probably in Spanish. If I'm having conversations in English, then but I also have run into where sometimes I get like that blank and I'm like, how do you say that word in English? I know how to say it in Spanish.
Como se dice.
Yeah,
Right?
but I don't know how to say it in English.
She's already
Yeah,
on
there you
that.
go. yeah.
You better step your
yeah.
game up over here with her.
I don't know how to say. How do you say?
Well, you say como se dice.
Yeah, como se dice. So, or vice versa, I might know how to say a word in English, but I can't think of how to say it in Spanish. And I think that that's just because being bilingual and being my first language was Spanish, I kind of run into that. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh my gosh, it could be like a word like the, or something simple. But I think, we all kind of run into, what do they call, brain farts, you know, where we're all like, But like I said, I did got asked, and I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, I don't know. But they say that what you dream more, like if you dream in Spanish more in English, it's probably more, it's what you use more.
Sure.
So, but mine are all mixed because like I said, sometimes, I'm dreaming I'm in Mexico with my grandparents, and we're all talking in Spanish,
Sure.
or sometimes, it's in English. So it's just cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all of that. And I've been thinking, as you have been sitting here, is that, using this platform to have more of these conversations and continue to promote what you guys are doing. And I just really love that you're making it available to everybody. So thank you for everything you're doing and for the children of our
Thank you
community.
for bringing us in. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
of
I
course.
hope it's amazing Christmas. Party.
Yes.
I am definitely putting that on my calendar.
So are you
I
two
gotta
going to
see
show
the
up
Grinch.
then?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
I
can
mean,
be a
I'm
part
going to
of
have
it
to adopt
too.
some kids to come with.
Definitely, we got a bunch of kids. Just go to the
We got a
holiday
lot
party.
in our
I need
Yeah.
some little
She's
You
got
Los
don't have
niños.
to bring kids. You don't need kids. Come and eat some tacos.
I'll let you borrow that.
I do need some food. I'm not going to
like to get my
lie.
picture taken with the Grinch and Santa too, like whether my children or grandchildren are with me or not. So I'm like,
So-
We've done a Santa event here. We did it 2 or 3 years. We haven't done it I think since COVID, pretty much. We would have a Santa and did the same thing, free pictures with Santa, because you go to the mall and it's like
It's
Expensive.
And if
Yeah.
that's your only access to Santa,
Yep.
it's a bummer.
Yes.
Because you want your kids to be able to get a
Yes, you want to
picture
have
with them.
those memories are the
feel like
best
it's
thing you
a
can
little
have.
more personal too in this setting. Like it's not just like you're waiting in line and you
Yeah,
walk up. Like
I
they're
agree.
talking to you and they're intermingling because they're at the party. So Santa always brings his wife.
Yes.
So Santa
Mrs.
and
Santa
Mrs. Claus will be there, and they're around and they're approachable, and so it's just a little bit more of a personal.
And we do make
experience.
little stockings, so each child that goes and gets to see Santa Claus gets a little stocking with some treats in it from CHISPA. So
Awesome.
So like I said, even if you don't win a raffle, you still get the cake walk. You get a stocking from Santa, and then all of our games will have little prizes, so they will go home with prizes, or maybe even a new haircut.
Oh, I love
So,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so Saturday, December 15th.
No, Sunday.
Sunday.
December 15th from
Okay.
12 to 3 at the American,
American
Legion,
Legion.
on Lincoln Way.
I was
Okay.
just gonna
Yes.
say, I'm adding it on here,
Yes.
so it's 2001 East Lincoln Way.
Yes.
Yep. Call out to everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Everybody.
The more the merrier, because we like to go big.
Yeah.
Yes,
When we
go
have a
big or go
fiesta, we love to have everybody there. And like I said, to me, the more people I meet, the more people I get to know, it's just a big plus.
Awesome.
So,
Well, thank you so much.
well, thank you guys for your time.
Of course, of course. So yes, thank you so much for being here today, and for all of our listeners. As you know, Lindy and I are realtors here at Peak Properties. So if you're looking to buy or sell, we'd love to help you with that. You can find us at www.sellcheyenne.com, and of course, Beyond the Front Door podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Alexa. And adios, everybody.
Adios. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Whether you plan to buy, sell, or invest in southeastern Wyoming, turn to Peak Properties. Family and veteran owned and operated, we work diligently for you. Unlike other larger companies, we take time to learn about you, understand your specific real estate needs, and remain easily accessible if you have any questions.
Being a veteran and family-owned and operated company means a high level of commitment, trust, and loyalty. Our family culture sets us apart. We work as a team. We develop not just professional, but personal relationships with our clients. When you choose Peak Properties, you become part of our real estate family.
Looking to relocate to Wyoming or just move across town? Peak will be there for you every step of the way. Recognized for excellence and dedication in the real estate profession, we're proud to be one of the most trusted and knowledgeable names in our industry. Let Peak help you find your dream home or investment property today. Our agents will make sure you're informed and listened to as they guide you to fulfilling your real estate goals. Reach out today.
We have sold and purchased several homes through Peak Properties, and each time I've been impressed. They are great about guiding us in the right direction and always being in our corner.
Peak Properties. Let our family show you the way home.